expert pistol and expert rifle. I was also on the force protection training team on the USS Leyte Gulf. I'm going to talk about firearms today, basically um, firearm safety and proper shooting techniques. So there are 5 basic rules whenever you handle a weapon. The first rule is always point the weapon in a safe distance, in a safe direction. You do this by maintaining control of the muzzle, which is the front of the gun. You always want to point it somewhere where there's not people or anything you don't intend to shoot. The second rule is treat every weapon as if it is loaded. Whenever you come across a weapon or is not familiar to you, the first thing you do is you want to put the safety on, engage the safety if it has a safety. Some guns do not. Like a Glock does not have a safety, it's actually on the trigger. The second thing you want to do is eject the magazine. So you hit the mag release and pull the magazine out. It should just fall out, place it somewhere. Then you want to slide the chamber, slide the slide back and lock it in position. There's a lever on the side. When you slide the slide all the way in the rear position, you lock it up. If there was a round in the chamber, this will either come out the top or fall out the bottom. The next thing you want to do is inspect the chambers, actually do a visual. You want to look and touch, make sure that there's still no round inside the weapon. At this point, it is now a clear and safe weapon. The third rule is, The third rule is you always keep your trigger finger off the trigger until you intend to shoot. Whenever you grip a gun, you want to rest your trigger finger outside the trigger guard right next to the slide. So when you're holding a weapon, it should look mostly like this. The fourth rule is you need to know your lane of fire. You need to correctly identify your target, and you need to know what lies beyond your target. Whenever you're target shooting or practice shooting, if you're outside, whenever your round hits your target, it doesn't always stop. There's a concrete wall back there. But if you're outside somewhere, you need to know that there's nothing behind your target that you could accidentally hit. Your lane of fire, if there's any people in your way, you don't want them to come into your lane of fire because you could accidentally hurt somebody. And the last rule is always wear protective PPE, personal protective equipment, which would be your safety glasses and hearing protection. You want to conserve your hearing and conserve your eyesight just in case anything happens. Don't want to hurt your eyes. Now we're going to talk about the proper procedure for firing. The first off is your stance, is how you stand whenever you're holding a weapon. You're going to have your arms fully extended. They don't need to be locked, but you need to be kind of relaxed, fully extended. Your shoulders need to be relaxed. A lot of people hunch up. You don't want to relax. The next is the way your feet are. You want your feet about shoulder width apart. You want your strong leg back 12 to 18 inches behind your weak leg or your non-dominant leg. You want your shoulders to be slightly in front of your hips. So you want to lean slightly forward. You don't need to lean all the way forward. It's just a very slight all the way forward. One thing that you do not want to do, a lot of people try to lean back. You don't want to do that. It throws you off balance and you're not going to hit your target that well. Excuse me. Next thing we're going to talk about is actually gripping the firearm. So when you pick the weapon up in your strong hand, you're going to grip your 3 fingers around the base of the grip so that your middle finger is touching the trigger guard. Remember, your trigger finger is always to remain straight until you intend to shoot. So you'll be holding it like this at first. Then you're going to take your non-dominant hand, place 4 fingers over the front. Then you're going to do thumb over thumb is my preferred method. You're going to take your dominant thumb, lay it underneath your non-dominant thumb. Your non-dominant thumb is going to lay on top. Your palm, the open part of the grip, your palm is close that up for you, so you have a really nice sturdy base. The next thing you need to know is how to aim. Whenever you aim, you're going to pull your weapon up. You're going to focus on your front sight. You want your front sight on your target. You're going to bring the weapon up to eye level and not your eye level down to the weapon. It's easier to do this than it is to bend your body. So you're going to bring your weapon up, focusing on the front sight. Then you're going to line the front sight up with the rear sight so that they're all three level, and that the rear sight, the front sight appears to be in the center of the rear sight. Next, we're going to talk about actually firing the weapon. Oh, I'm sorry. One thing I did forget is whenever you do grip a weapon, this is a preferred method. You see people on TV that is called T-cupping. We don't want to do that, because a semi-automatic, whenever you fire or if something happens to the magazine, if it were to explode for any reason, all the force would be projected down. So if your hand's underneath it, you stand more liable to get hurt. So like this, don't T-cup. Next, we're going to talk about firing. So you have your weapon in your hand. You don't have a magazine in it. The slide should be back right now. So you hold the weapon, insert a magazine. The next thing you want to do is actually charge the weapon. So you're going to pull back the slide and let it go. This will disengage the slide safety lock and will push the slide forward. We call it send the slide home. One thing you don't want to do here is another little rule. You don't want to push it forward or ram it forward, because there's a spring in there and the weapon will cycle itself after the first shot anyways. So if the slide is home, just say for instance you accidentally hit the slide release, there's nothing in the chamber, you slid the slide forward. When you put the magazine in, there's still nothing in the chamber. So if you pull the trigger, nothing's going to happen. What I do, or what you should do, is still pointing in a safe direction, turn sideways, pull the slide back, let go. It'll chamber around all by itself, then you're ready to fire. So now that we are ready to fire, we're actually going to put our finger on the trigger, and it's just the first pad of your finger, and you lay it directly on the trigger, and you're going to do a nice smooth squeeze until it goes bang. When you do the nice smooth squeeze, you're actually engaging the striker or the firing pin, which actually trips a mechanical lever and strikes the primer on the bullet and sends it out the front. All right, that's basic firearm safety and how to shoot. Thank you very much.